Lessons I wished I learned when I was younger. A letter to my unborn child. I encourage you to take the time to probe your own conscience and understand why it is you believe what you do. I think too often in my life, I took information at face value and sometimes struggled to see the forest through the trees. Many would believe this to be a lack of critical thinking, but I grew up having been told to always think critically, to challenge assumptions. However, this was almost always demonstrated as heated, combative verbal arguments. And so, as a child, and even as a young adult, I came to believe that this was critical thinking. However, you see, when you argue, or even debate for that matter, you have already set your position in steel and are trying to convince the other side of why they are wrong. Rather than debate, I urge you to engage in dialectics. Dialectics. It wasn't until my late 30s that I learned this word. Its meaning? The discussion and reasoning by dialogue, as a method of intellectual investigation. To put it another way, it's the search for truth, knowing that it can be elusive and we may only ever get closer, but perhaps never fully grasp it. Because you see, the reality of it is that there are very few things that are unequivocally right or wrong in this world. You must realize that someone else's falsehoods can be your truth and vice versa, and both can be true. And herein lies the challenge, that when two minds collide, both rooted in their own ideological truths, we must realize that truth is highly dependent on perspective, so we must work together to find a common ground. So, my dear child, I hope for you that you can do what I have always struggled to. Have the grace to recognize others' truths, even if they differ from your own.